Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
A man was shot to death at a local apartment complex. This morning, what we know about the person police say is a person of interest.
And it's a chilly start out there, but a good day for travel. Grab the coat as you're headed out the door. We'll talk about what to expect tomorrow with our WRAL Weather Alert Day. And thousands of people will head to their Thanksgiving destinations today. We have team coverage this morning, keeping an eye on issues that you may run into at the airport and on the roads. It is a very, very busy travel day for so many people. We have Laura, we have Kelsey, we have Ken, we have Elizabeth, everybody to get you ready. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Chris Lovinga. Yeah, we got you covered on the roads, we got you covered in the skies, and we have you covered for your weather forecast. Let's go ahead and start with Elizabeth Gardner.
A great day for travel. We're going to start right here as we take a look down Fayetteville Street from our Jimmy V camera. Fayetteville Street may be a little less busy today as folks are, kind of heading out for the holiday, but we know that skies are clear here, and if you're headed out the door, you definitely want to grab a coat. Temperature in the Triangle 43, but we have a lot of towns showing up in the 30s this morning. A pleasant afternoon, highs in the low 60s. We will see increasing clouds, but none of those clouds are likely to bring us any rain today. Tomorrow's a different story. WRAL Weather Alert Day, level 1 risk for severe storms. Wind damage will be the biggest threat, so watch out for some of those holiday decorations. Our timeline will be between 1 and 6 p.m. Check in Futurecast. We're going to start it early here at 5 o'clock for all those early risers. We have a small chance of some showers during the morning. It would be a sprinkle or two. A lot of folks will just stay dry all the way up until around lunchtime. And right around lunchtime, we may see a few cells developing and a line forming starting at around 1 o'clock and then heading south and east. It's likely that we'll have a better chance for the stronger storms south and east of the Triangle area. The models are really showing that for us. So keep that in mind as you're making your plans. After this all moves through, we're going to turn much colder starting Friday. I'll show you when we'll be back in the 20s. Coming up, Ken.
8:02, Elizabeth, on this very busy travel day, particularly on the roads. We want to start courtesy of a live cam network of I-40 and Airport Boulevard. Those eastbound lanes, watch for that sun glare as you're going through those eastbound lanes this morning, but those westbound lanes are flowing nicely in both directions. Listen, we're not seeing any major incidents on any of our major roads this morning, so that's why we've also isolated all the major routes into RDU International this morning. I-40, Glenwood Avenue, I-540, all those major routes are delay-free this morning, so you will get to the airport on time. In terms of the big picture around here in the Triangle and surrounding communities, I-40, the Beltline, we're not seeing any delays whatsoever, so those of you who have to get to work this morning and those are part of your commute, you're free and clear this morning. If you have to get to work in the Bull City right now, you're just looking at a 1-minute delay heading into the Bull City this morning. You're getting ready to head out. Always know that we'll keep you updated on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle. You also have a couple more options, 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
In Wade County, a man was killed during a shooting in Garner. Investigators responded to an apartment complex on Eisner Lane late last night. They were there until 3 this morning. Around 10 p.m. last night, police found a 44-year-old man shot to death, and they say the man's girlfriend was detained as a person of interest. They also say they are not looking for anyone else. WRAL is working to learn the names of the man who was killed and his girlfriend.
The clock is ticking to get to your Thanksgiving holiday destination. Roads and airports will be packed today as people make their trips to see friends and loved ones. And we have team coverage this morning with everything you need to know before you head out the door. We'll start with WRAL's Laura Levine. She's at RDU. And Laura, there were some long lines there earlier this morning. What is it looking like right now?
Michelle, passengers are taking off to their holiday destinations here at RDU. Things are going nice and smoothly. What a great start to this holiday travel day. You can see no long lines at TSA, but earlier this morning between 5 and 6 a.m., if you take a look at this video, this is what we saw. Long lines reaching the back of the terminal here. The airport is expecting more than 400,000 people to travel through RDU this week. Let's compare it to the 138,000 people who traveled through the airport last week. Now let's take a live look outside, giving you a look at the traffic heading into the terminal. You can see traffic control there directing vehicles. We haven't seen any major backups or delays coming in. However, we do know more people will have to depend on rideshare as well as family members, loved ones dropping them off here at the airport today. And that's because on-site parking at the airport is dwindling, with Premier, Central, and Express parking lots now over at 80% capacity. Economy 3 parking lot is now 100% full. I was able to speak with some travelers who were in the long lines early this morning who tell us that it was worth getting through the travel frenzy to get home to spend some time with their family members.
I hope we make our flight because we do board at 6:40, but I mean, with RDU, they're always moving. Those lines are always constantly moving, so I'm not too worried about like making our flight, but I just hope we get there to our gate at the right time.
Do you get nervous when traveling during any type of holiday rush?
Just a little bit. I feel like on a normal occasion, I'm like, I'm fine, I'm gonna breeze through.
And even though it's not a normal occasion today, this morning, many people were able to breeze right on through here at RDU. We're not seeing any cancellations and only a handful of delays. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live at RDU.
And WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is on I-95 in Johnston County this morning. Kelsey, today is not the day to procrastinate if you're trying to avoid backups.
Chris, it sure is not. We're expecting to see thousands of drivers here on I-95 over the next couple of days this week. And there's good news for drivers this morning. Gas prices are down. New numbers from AAA released earlier this morning show that the average price of gas here in North Carolina is $2.88 a gallon. That's nearly 22 cents cheaper than this time last year. Let's talk about the best times to hit the road this week. The easiest way to avoid the worst of the traffic is to travel on Thanksgiving Day tomorrow. But you heard during our forecast that tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day, so slick roads may be an issue. If you start your drive today, AAA recommends avoiding the road between 1 and 6. That's when backups will be the worst. They say it's best to hit the road before 10 to get ahead of all of the traffic. So if you're filling up before your trip, check out WRAL.com and search Fuel Tracker. There you will find the cheapest gas prices in our area. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Johnston County.
A man is recovering from a shooting last night in eastern Wake County. Sheriff's deputies were called to Dulles Drive around 10:15 last night. That's between Roseville and Zebulon, if you know that area. The man who was shot was taken to the hospital and is expected to live. WRAL will look further into the story to learn who is accused of shooting that man.
Thousands of students in Wake County will be assigned to new schools next year. The Board of Education voted unanimously to approve the student reassignment plan. The plan affects about 3,500 students, and the moves are happening because 3 new elementary schools and a new high school are opening in the southwestern part of the county next year. Some parents are upset about having to send their kids to schools with different calendars or that are farther away from home. Board Chairman Chris Hegarty says that it's tough but a necessary move as the county's population increases rapidly.
We're definitely listening, but just because we can't give everybody what they want, if we did that, we'd never be able to assign kids to new schools because most all parents would simply like to stay in the schools that they're in.
And the board also voted to open the new Bowling Road Elementary School on a traditional calendar instead of year-round. Families who are eligible for a stability transfer can apply to stay at their current schools.
A mother says a man exposed himself to her teenage daughter in public, and that happened in the parking lot of a Raleigh Target store. Well, now police are trying to find that man. The mother says it happened Saturday afternoon outside the Target on Old Wake Forest Road. She says her 16-year-old daughter was waiting in the car while she went inside. Her daughter says a man parked nearby and then approached her vehicle. And then the teenager says the man exposed himself and acted inappropriately in front of her while recording her reaction. Her mother talked to WRAL about what happened, but did not want to be on camera.
Just kind of broke down, and she mentioned how she felt violated. She felt embarrassed. I think her main concern was that he was recording her, so he had this video of her just in his phone that he could do, God knows what with.
The teenager said the man drove away in a black SUV, and the family is working to get surveillance video from Target to help identify this person.
Governor Roy Cooper has vetoed the bill that would bring sweeping changes to state government. This is the bill that we've been talking about a lot. It combines hurricane relief with shifting power away from Democrats. With the way it's set up, you can't pass one without the other. Republicans do have a veto-proof majority, so we expect the bill will become law by the end of the year.
Time is 8:09. More cleanup is happening in parts of the Pacific Northwest because of severe weather that slammed that area. This morning, hear how one family is coping after a tree split their home in half.
Wow. And the holiday season, it's here, and scammers are out to get your money. The FBI's tips on how to spot and avoid some of the most common scams.
And tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day. We're following a front that's likely to bring at least the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms. I'll walk you through the timeline.
Welcome back on your Wednesday as we take a nice live look over White Lake. Beautiful. You can see the clouds reflecting on the water there. It's going to be a pretty nice day if you still have some errands to run. I know a lot of people probably out there thinking, oh gosh, I got to get the cranberry sauce. I forgot the cranberry, or the turkey brine, or whatever you need to do. It's going to be a nice day out there. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Looking ahead to tomorrow, though, it's a WRAL weather alert day.
It is nice to have today to kind of wrap everything up with some decent weather. My neighbor just texted me and said, hey, I'm going to the store. You need anything? Actually, yes. Thank you very much. So yeah, help out your neighbors today. Tomorrow, a whole different story. We have a level 1 risk for severe storms. It's a WRAL weather alert day. Wind damage would be our biggest threat. So especially, a lot of people have those really cool inflatables. Watch those. Those could really get torn up in the wind. It's likely that we'll see the potential for some stronger storms between lunchtime and 6 o'clock moving across the viewing area. This is the storm in question, dumping a lot of snow in the Rockies right now, but no thunderstorms with it just yet. That's going to change in the next 24 hours. A lot of folks, of course, head out for turkey trots. There may be a few isolated showers during turkey trot time, but it really doesn't look like we would see much rain. Starting right around lunchtime, we begin to see a very small line developing. As that line moves from Durham through Raleigh, it picks up some intensity around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then potentially by 4 or 5, it's out of here. And the models, with each run, changing things up a little bit, slowing it down, speeding it up, kind of focusing it in our southeastern counties. So just keep checking in. We'll be here early tomorrow morning, of course, watching what's going to happen. Our potential for tornadoes is really low. This is going to be our storm fuel where we'd be looking at severe storms. And notice it's just in the blue for the morning hours. We'll roll it all the way out. There's 11 o'clock. We're still looking pretty good. But watch what happens here. Right about lunchtime, we turn to green, and that's going to be where we'd have a better chance of seeing some of those stronger storms during the afternoon. We do have that level 1 risk for severe storms. Damaging wind would be our biggest threat. Some isolated hail possible. A tornado is possible, but not terribly likely. The best thing to do tomorrow is to get where you need to go around, lunchtime or a little bit before. Make sure you're watching those inflatables, tie them down, bring them in, and know that we could have a few isolated power outages. Of course, a lot of folks will be cooking. Checking out this afternoon, 63, 69 for tomorrow, and Black Friday turns colder, but that's just the beginning. We're going to see some much colder temperatures as we get into the weekend and next week. This front on Thursday is going to open the door to some Arctic air, coldest that we've seen so far this season. Sunday is the first day of December, 51 degrees, and then 40s Monday and Tuesday. It's still going to be breezy. Talking about a wind chill here, potentially in the teens in the mornings on Monday and Tuesday. Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center on this busy road travel day. We've started with some breaking news right now. A crash shutting down I-85 in those southbound lanes. This is between Butner and Oxford there in Granville County. Of course, when you see purple showing up on the map, that means that road is completely shut down. The Highway Patrol investigating this crash. Of course, this is near the Virginia state line. You've got some folks coming in from the north, coming in on 85 south. If they get around the Oxford area, tell them to get off on either Highway 15 or Highway 96 as alternate routes. We have Sky 5 headed to that scene, and we'll let you know exactly what's going on and give you a bird's eye view as to what's going on there in the Granville County area. Here's a live look back here in the Triangle and surrounding communities of I-40 and Airport Boulevard. Boy, those eastbound lanes, you can see those sun glare delays, but those westbound lanes flowing nicely this morning. If you're getting ready to head to the airport, we've got you covered. We isolated all the major routes to RDU International this morning, and they're all delay-free at this hour, which is really good news. In terms of the big picture around the Triangle, no delays whatsoever on I-40 and 440 this morning, and that's what you want to hear on this Thanksgiving Eve. 101.5 HD3 is what you need to listen to us on the radio if you're getting ready to head out.
It is going to get cold later this week with several mornings below freezing. DOT workers in Wake County plan to test their equipment today to prepare for any future winter weather. Engineers will essentially test their plows and other equipment, and that way they'll know their gear is in good condition when they need it.
A family in Washington state has a lot to be thankful for this Thanksgiving. Last week, a storm brought down a 275-foot tree, splitting the McKelvey family's cabin in half. Eric Wilkinson spoke to the family, including one member who, despite his young age, understands the gravity of this close call.
There's one photo, I don't know if I can find it, but it's this one where my legs are like up in the air and we're like super high up. But
a handful of photos is all 14-year-old Jackson McKelvey has left after a lifetime at this family home.
That's just kind of like, this is just, it means the world to me. So it's tough to see it like this. But
so this is the kitchen,
The destruction is staggering. Last week's bomb cyclone creating what looks like a bomb blast at this Kingston property that's been in the McKelvey family for 3 generations, 55 years.
This is how we found the property. This is in the 70s.
The towering tree was on a neighbor's property. Tira McKelvey says in all the time she's spent here, she's never seen anyone at that house, and no one had any idea the tree was diseased. She says it's mush where it snapped near the base. The one fortunate thing, no one was home when the tree came crashing through. If the storm had happened 1 week later, the home would have been filled with families celebrating the holiday. The gravity of that is not lost on Jackson.
that tree would have gone right through everybody, and it's just so hard to think that not only I would be gone, but everybody, my grandparents, my uncle and aunt, like everybody would just be gone in a snap like that, and there's nobody left. There it is.
It's just a picture, but this is how little they were when we were up here.
As they salvage what little they can from the destruction, thoughts of Thanksgiving come up. Family, friends, and gratitude for all they still have.
I don't know. It's just like life is like now, it means so much more than it did before all of this.
Incredible. They are all okay. That was Eric Wilkinson reporting. The family hopes to rebuild, but they say they'll clear away a lot of the trees first.
The father of a woman missing from Hawaii died while in L.A. looking for her. Hannah Kobayashi vanished in Los Angeles this month. Authorities say she was flying home to Hawaii from New York, but she did not get onto her connecting flight in L.A. Her family says she was there for several days until they last heard from her. That was on November 11th, when she sent text messages saying she was tricked into giving away all her money.
She was afraid, and our sister was trying to get a hold of her. And then, unfortunately, she went dark.
Hannah's father, Ryan, was found in a parking lot near the airport on Sunday, dead. The medical examiner's office says he died by suicide.
Disney has agreed to pay $43 million to settle a gender pay lawsuit. The case involves nearly 9,000 women who have claimed they received lower wages compared to their male counterparts. Disney did not admit fault, but says it is committed to paying workers fairly. A judge still needs to approve the settlement, but it could reshape how Disney pays employees in the future.
The FBI is warning people about the most common holiday scams this season. The agency says 36% of Americans will fall victim to a holiday shopping scam. These include puppy scams, with more than $5.5 million lost in fake pet ads. Cryptocurrency and gift cards are also a common scam. Hackers essentially pose as people you trust to convince you to invest through a fake platform or buy fraudulent gift cards. The FBI says you can reduce your chances of being victimized, though. Verify the website you're using and paying for items on your credit card in case you need to report a charge. Also, do not click any links from unsolicited emails that are providing any personal or financial information. That can be dangerous for you.
Crabtree Valley Mall is working to keep their shoppers safe during this busy holiday season. The mall is partnering with Raleigh Police Department's security video sharing platform. It's called Connect Raleigh. The partnership is a move to increase response times and visibility inside and outside the mall. Connect Raleigh cameras are already in use all across the city of Raleigh.
Dancers from the Triangle will show off their moves on national television during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. 69 local high school dancers from the Holly Springs School of Dance are representing North Carolina and New York City. This will be the school's 8th appearance in the parade since 2003. Dancers from Legacy Dance Productions in Zebulon and Hillsborough Cheer and Dance will also be there. Clinton High School senior Bailey Waters will play in the Macy's Great American Marching Band as well. You can watch for all the action when the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade airs live on WRAL tomorrow morning.
And WRAL is your home for Thanksgiving Day traditions. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade starts at 8:30, and right after that at noon, it's the National Dog Show.
All right, we have a special Thanksgiving message for you from outer space. Take a listen.
Greetings from the International Space Station. Our crew up here just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving to all our friends and family who are down on Earth and everyone who is supporting us.
That was astronaut Sunny Williams you heard there talking. She and her fellow astronauts aboard the International Space Station plan to celebrate the holiday in space. They say they'll be eating some smoked turkey, Brussels sprouts, and butternut squash, along with some other sides. I'm kind of curious to see how cranberry would behave there in zero G.
Yes. All right, well, St. Aug is now taking their financial issues into their own hands while they're hiring a private auditor to look into allegations against the university board chair.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. It's a busy day on the roads today. Ken Smith is tracking your traffic for you.
Yeah, and more specifically, Michelle, we've got a situation brewing on I-85 there in Granville County. We're talking a crash that's really caused some major delays on I-85 in the southbound lane near the Virginia state line. Again, this is between Butner and Oxford. Let's go ahead and give you a live look of that scene right now. Sky 5 is over that scene. You can see at least a couple lanes are open this morning, and that crash has been moved over to the side of the road. It looks like it involves a couple of trucks. We'll keep monitoring this, but the good news here is that traffic is flowing in the southbound lanes right now, but about an hour ago, things were completely shut down there on I-85 southbound. Of course, I'll have an update at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
It's a good day for traveling as long as you're not going to run into any traffic problems. 43 in Wilson, 43 in Durham, and 44 in Fayetteville. Partly cloudy skies right now. We will see an increase in our cloud cover later on this afternoon as our front approaches, but it doesn't come in until tomorrow. It's chilly out there this morning, of course, with temperatures upper 30s and low 40s. We'll see a high of 63 this afternoon with increasing clouds, but again, today does stay dry. A chance of some strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. We'll walk you through the timeline coming up on Fox 50.
Thanks, Elizabeth. A man is dead after a shooting in Garner. Police responded to an apartment complex on Eisner Lane last night. When they arrived, they found a 44-year-old who had been shot to death. Investigators tell us the man's girlfriend has been detained as a person of interest. We are working to learn the names of the man who was killed and of his girlfriend. Next on Fox 50, we have team coverage from the airport to the roads to help you get ready for Thanksgiving. And next on Today, Jill Martin shares her steals and deals.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
We are following some breaking news on I-85 in the southbound lanes in Granville County. You can see the major crash shutting down that roadway this morning. I'll tell you a couple of alternate routes to avoid this major slowdown.
And one person is in police custody this morning after a man was shot and killed at an apartment complex. What we're learning about a possible connection as police spent hours investigating.
And it's going to be a good travel day today. It's a chilly start this morning, but we're seeing partly cloudy skies. Rain rolls in tomorrow with a threat of severe storms. We'll talk more about our WRAL Weather Alert Day.
And you're looking live at I-40 right now at Airport Boulevard. A lot of people headed out there towards RDU. The TSA and AAA are expecting millions of people to head to their Thanksgiving destinations today. And so we're going to keep you updated on everything you need to know as you prepare to have your flight. I'm one of those people that likes to show up at the airport 2 hours early. I know it's weird, but I have not missed a flight so far. Thanks for joining us here on WRAL. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. That's some good news. Nobody wants to miss their flight, especially today. So we're going to help you out with that. First, we're going to get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner because we need help with our weather forecast. Nice today, but we're looking ahead to tomorrow.
We are. This morning, as you're headed out the door, make sure you grab a coat, a jacket. It's colder than it was this time yesterday, but it sure is pretty. This is a live look at Zebulon, the historic town hall here, the beautiful lawn, just a a hint of a breeze. 43 is the temperature in the Triangle, and right now, at least at RDU, the wind is calm. We'll see a pleasant 63 this afternoon with increasing clouds, but today does stay dry. Tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day. We have a level 1 risk for severe storms. Wind damage would be our biggest threat. Watch out for those holiday inflatables out there. The wind can really wreak havoc on those. You may want to think about just deflating those or just keeping that in mind. Noon to 6 is going to be our timeline for a line of thunderstorms for tomorrow. I'm going to kick things off right here at 5 a.m. Notice it's nice and quiet, but as we head through the morning hours, there's 7:30. A couple of isolated showers pop up. We'll pause it there at 10 and again at noon. Right at noon, we start to see a line developing that looks, a little bit less intense between noon and 1. But once it starts to move into some of our eastern counties, it does pick up a little intensity. That's where and when we could end up with the potential for some wind damage. After that, we start to clear things out overnight, and boy, the cold air starts to move in. For tomorrow's risks, wind damage would be the greatest risk. Hail is a possibility, as well as isolated tornadoes. We're going to go over those risks hour by hour. Coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, at 8:32 on this very busy travel day on the roads, we want to start with some breaking news there in Granville County. We're talking about a crash right now that's really causing some serious delays on I-85 in the southbound lanes near the Virginia state line. This is between Butner and Oxford this morning. Let's give you a live look right now at that scene and show you exactly what's going on. You can see first responders right now are working with somebody who was clearly involved in this crash in that blue car right there. As we isolate that area this morning, you can see how serious that situation is. As Sky 5 pulls back, you can see this is causing some major delays in that area. What we just saw a little while ago was that the crash was moved over to in the median center lane of that area, and traffic was getting through just a little bit, but as you can see, just one lane of traffic is getting through, so that's going to slow down traffic a lot coming in this morning. You got a couple of alternate routes, Highway 96 or Highway 15 there in Oxford. If you have some folks coming in this morning, just let them know to get to the Oxford area, look for Highway 15 or Highway 96 as alternate routes to avoid that area. This is a live look at I-40 and Jones Sausage Grove. For those of you getting ready to head to the beaches, maybe Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, Carolina Beach, it's free and clear this morning. For those of you heading to the airport for a morning flight, all the routes into RDU International delay-free at this hour, so you will get to the airport on time. If you're getting ready to head out this morning and you got to go to work, you're not seeing any delays from any of the major routes coming into the capital city this morning. So on this Thanksgiving Eve, you'll get to work on time as well. 101.5 HD3 is the station to listen to if you're going out right now and you want to listen to us on the radio.
Breaking news out of Wake County. A man is dead after a shooting in Garner. Police have been on the scene for more than 9 hours. They responded to an apartment complex on Isner Lane around 10 o'clock last night. Police found a 44-year-old man who had been shot to death. They say the man's girlfriend was detained as a person of interest. They say they are not looking for anyone else right now. We are working to learn the names of the man who was killed and his girlfriend.
Thanksgiving is tomorrow, and that means people will be traveling today to get to their destinations. Roads and airports will be packed as you are headed out today. And we have team coverage this morning with everything you need to know before you leave today. We've got WRAL's Laura Levine at RDU speaking with travelers who are navigating long lines.
We are foot traffic here at RDU on what is sure to be one of the busiest travel days of the year. But here at Terminal 2, things are off to a smooth start. Passengers taking off on an early morning flights here at RDU, however, were welcomed with some long lines. For about an hour, lines reached the back of the terminal as travelers were trying to get through security. The airport is expecting more than 400,000 people to travel through RDU this week, according to a spokesperson. But that's compared to the 138,000 people who traveled through the airport last week. Now, on-site parking at the airport is also dwindling at this time, with Premier, Central, and Express parking lots nearing capacity. Economy 3 parking is now 100% full. I was able to speak with some passengers in line early this morning in the midst of this travel frenzy.
I hope we make our flight because we do board at 6:40, but I mean, with RDU, they're always moving. Those lines are always constantly moving, so I'm not too worried about making our flight, but I just hope we get there to our gate at the right time.
And be sure to check in with your airline directly before heading to the airport. That way you have the most up-to-date information. Here at RDU, so far things are moving smoothly, only seeing a handful of delays and no cancellations. Laura Levine, WRAL News, RDU.
AAA at 3 o'clock this morning show gas prices are lower. That's good news for millions who will be on the road today. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey tells us people will need to hit the road early to avoid those holiday traffic jams.
We're expecting to see thousands of drivers traveling along I-95 over the next few days this week. And there's good news for drivers today. Gas prices are lower. New numbers released from AAA earlier today show the average price of gas is $2.88 a gallon here in North Carolina. That's nearly 20 cents cheaper than this same time last year. Now, let's talk about the best times to hit the road this week. The easiest way to avoid the worst of the traffic is to travel on Thanksgiving Day tomorrow. But you heard during our forecast that tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day, so slick roads may be an issue. We spoke with AAA about the best times to start your road trip today.
If you can avoid those times, between maybe 1 p.m. and 6 p.m., that's when you're going to probably see the most congestion. You'll have kind of a mix of travelers and commuters, in those hours.
If you're filling up before your trip, go to WRAL.com and search for the fuel tracker. There you can find the cheapest gas prices here in our area. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Johnston County.
A man is recovering from a shooting that happened in the eastern part of Wake County. Sheriff's deputies were called to Dealers Drive around 10:15 last night. That's between Roseville and Zebulon. This map right here shows you. The man who was shot was taken to the hospital, but is expected to live.
And 5 people are hurt after a crash on US 15501 near Aberdeen. 3 vehicles were involved in the crash that happened about 7:30 last night near PD Road. Fire crews needed to use specialized rescue tools to free a driver from one of those vehicles. 1 person was airlifted to a trauma center. 4 others were taken to a nearby hospital by ambulance.
A ceasefire is now in effect in Lebanon because the United States helped broker a deal between Israel and Hezbollah. Some people celebrated in the streets of Lebanon after Israel approved the agreement yesterday. This deal calls for a 60-day stop in fighting, and under the deal, Israel's military must withdraw from Lebanon. Hezbollah must move farther north. Lebanon's army and UN peacekeepers will then create a buffer zone near the border.
New this morning, St. Augustine's University has hired an independent auditor to look into claims against board chair Brian Boulware. A lawsuit filed by a group, Save SAU, accuses the board of making financial decisions that could force the school to close. They say Boulware benefited from a brokerage fee paid by the school on a $7 million loan. They also accuse him of wiring chunks of money with no records. The state attorney general's office is looking into those claims.
Coach K and Ken Jeong were in Las Vegas cheering on Duke against the nation's #1 team, Kansas. The Jayhawks jumped out to a big lead early, but Duke was able to come back. And the Blue Devils trailed by just 2 at halftime. The game was marred in the second half. And that is when Hunter Dickinson with the Jayhawks was ejected for kicking his foot at the head of Duke's Malik Brown. See it there. The game came down to just one last shot, a 3-point shot by Knuppel, and that would have sent the game into overtime, but it bounced out. Duke fell to Kansas 75-72.
And in a game that ended just before 2 o'clock this morning, UNC took on Auburn in the Maui Invitational Tournament. The Tar Heels fell behind early and trailed the 4th-ranked Tigers by 8 at halftime. Auburn pulled away in the second half. They were up by as many as 19 at one point, and UNC just could not make the comeback. The Tar Heels lost that game 85-72.
Your time is 8:40. A Great Dane found severely malnourished is on her way to recovery. What a dog rescue organization has to say about Tegan's second chance at life.
Plus, the Dodgers are hoping to defend their World Series title next year. The major multi-million-dollar deal securing one of the league's top pitchers.
We do have a live look this morning at Durham today. A little cloudy as we're seeing here, but the thing is, today is a great day for travel. You just might run into some issues tomorrow. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner and Chris Michaels will join us after the break to talk about the severe weather headed our way and across the country. Looking at the blue skies of Cary this morning, you can see there's some cloud coverage there as you're getting prepared to head out for the Thanksgiving holiday. Something to keep in mind, tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day. Elizabeth Gardner has been tracking that and why we're going to see that tomorrow.
We have a level 1 risk for severe storms for tomorrow. Wind damage would be the biggest threat. Watch out for those inflatables. Those are super popular and really fun, but strong winds could damage those. The timeline between noon and 6 p.m. tomorrow. Here's a look at the extent of our severe weather threat. Damaging winds, isolated hail, isolated tornadoes are going to be the biggest threat, but wind damage would be the main thing we'd be concerned with. Here's the system right now producing a lot of snow over the Rockies and some mixed precipitation across the Midwest. No thunderstorms yet, but as it moves eastward, that is likely to change. Here's a look at Futurecast kicking things off tomorrow. The first half of the day, not too bad. We could be dodging some isolated showers. There's a look at 7 o'clock. You can see some of those between South Hill and Rocky Mount. And then between, say, 8 and 9, again, just quick little showers popping up. If you're headed out to a turkey trot, just know there could be just a quick shower. I don't think it's going to be anything that would, cause any major problems. By lunchtime, though, we begin to see this line of storms developing between Durham and Raleigh. By 1 o'clock, it starts to increase all the way up toward Northampton County, back down towards Southern Pines. So starting to form up just a little bit. By the time we get to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's much more distinct. That's where we'd have a better chance of seeing any severe storms, especially from the Triangle area south and east. Now, in this version of Futurecast, it's over by around 4 o'clock, but the models continue to change, slowing it down, speeding it up a little bit. So we're going to continue to keep our eye on it, and you definitely want to keep checking in, especially tomorrow morning. We'll be here starting at 4:30. So gusty winds possibly, large hail tornadoes not likely, but just an isolated threat. Turkey trot forecast for tomorrow, of course, just an isolated shower. If you're going to be traveling tomorrow, it's going to be a good time to travel. Meteorologist Chris Michael is here to talk about the rest of the country and North Carolina too.
Yeah, so the storm system that's moving in our direction, developing right now, you were just showing some of the snow that's going on in states like Colorado and in Utah. That's where they have winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories. Then you head toward lake effect country. We're talking areas like Cleveland and north of Pittsburgh, Buffalo. That's where they have a winter storm watch, and that's going to go through Black Friday. Now, in terms of tomorrow, the afternoon is stormiest in Wilmington, and of course here, Greensboro, see a few morning showers. Farther west you go into Tennessee, the better that things are going to be. Now, if you're heading farther north, New York City for the Macy's Day Parade, it's going to be cold and wet up there. Temperatures in the 40s. Richmond, Virginia, looking at a similar time frame for the showers tomorrow, but their severe weather threat is low. Fort Lauderdale, Miami looking great with highs in the low 80s. So today is smooth for most. Tomorrow is where the travel could get a little tricky, especially in the eastern U.S. But then the rain moves east and the wind picks up behind it. Elizabeth, that's going to bring in some much cooler air. Going to be kind of a shock to the system.
It really is. Coldest air of the season is likely to come in starting on Friday, but continuing to see those temperatures fall through the weekend. So this is going to be the warmest day that we see for a while. 63 in Raleigh and Durham, 68 in Fayetteville. Take a look at this. Monday and Tuesday, highs will be in the mid-40s and overnight lows in the mid-20s. Wind chills early next week could be in the teens in the morning and 30s in the afternoon. This is a look at the weekend wind chills. We could easily be seeing temperatures feeling like mid-20s for Saturday and Sunday morning. So just be prepared, pull out those heavy coats and keep them handy. We will definitely need them by the weekend, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. On this busy travel day on the roads, we started this breaking news in Granville County this morning. A crash shutting down lanes there on I-85 southbound. This is between Butner and Oxford this morning. Let's give you a live look at that scene right now, courtesy of Sky 5. Here's what we know, because you're seeing the huge backup it's causing right now. There are a couple of things that happened here. A crash happened at 6:45 this morning involving two vehicles. That one was minor. A second crash happened minutes later, and this is the one that's causing this major delay right now. That involves 6 vehicles, and some people were injured in that crash as well. As you can see right now, as Sky 5 zooms in on this particular second crash that happened, you can see that the damaged vehicles right there in the median as well, but only one lane of traffic is getting through right now. So if you have some folks, as we come back here live into the WRAL Traffic Center, coming south to visit you today, if there's on I-85 South, tell them to get off on a US 1 exit and come into the capital city that way. If they're close to Oxford or Butner this morning, a couple of alternate routes will be Highway 96 or Highway 15 there in the Oxford area. So just keep that in mind if you have those family members or friends coming in to visit you today. I-40 and Airport Boulevard. Traffic flowing nicely in both directions this morning, so you will get to the airport in time because we've isolated all the major routes heading to RDU International this morning, and they're all delay-free, so that's really good news. And really, in terms of the delays on I-40 and the Beltline, nothing to report this morning.
We do have some encouraging news to pass along this morning. A 6-month-old Great Dane puppy that was found malnourished is now in the care of an animal rescue. She was released from NC State Vet Hospital yesterday. This is Tegan. She was taken there after Cary police say 35-year-old Claudia De La Cerda starved her. De La Cerda is charged with animal cruelty in this case. The founder of the Perfectly Imperfect Pups Rescue received a call about Tegan. Someone posted about her online. Nicole Kincaid has documented Tegan's journey on the internet. And in some of the clips, you can see just how severely malnourished the dog was when she was rescued.
All she wants to do is put her head down on you and snuggle. And the fact that somebody could just put her outside and just ignore her for weeks on end is just baffling and infuriating.
The trauma that dog has endured. WRAL was at the NC State Veterinary Hospital as Tegan was released. This is the video right here. Kincaid says that she will continue posting updates on Tegan's recovery on Perfectly Imperfect Pups social media pages.
So glad she's safe now. Well, our teacher of the week grew up in a musical family, so it's no wonder she chose a career in music and shares that passion with her students. WRAL's Ken Smith introduces us to a Wake County teacher striking the perfect tone with her students.
When Sarah Rhodes was a little older than her current students at Poe Elementary in Raleigh,
woodwinds we blow.
She knew she wanted to teach others how to experience the joy she finds in music.
When I was in kindergarten, I started taking piano lessons and singing at church. But by middle school, when I was in middle school chorus, that was when I decided I really wanted to teach chorus. I wanted to teach singing. The bass. All right.
This is her 11th year in the classroom, introducing her students to different instruments and helping them understand the role music can play in their daily lives.
Seeing kids get so excited and joyful about making music and about remembering and connecting it to their real lives, that's the best.
Over the years, Rhodes says she's learned it's not about getting students to hit the perfect notes, but rather making sure they do find joy in making music.
The bass. I want them to be able to think back on elementary music and be like, oh yeah, I remember her. That was a fun time. We had fun. And have positive feelings about music for the rest of their lives.
Miss Rhodes, you are WRAL's Teacher of the Week.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Ken Smith, WRAL News.
And if you would like to nominate a teacher, go to WRAL.com and enter Teacher of the Week in the search box.
The Los Angeles Dodgers have a new arm to add to their arsenal, it turns out. Two-time Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell has reportedly signed a 5-year, $182 million contract with the team. This is the third largest deal for a left-handed pitcher in Major League history. The Dodgers are hoping that adding Snell to their roster will put them in a better position to defend their World Series title. Snell was a pitcher for the rivals, the San Francisco Giants.
Well, Carolina Hurricanes hockey stars helped to deliver turkey breasts to families in need. The Hurricanes truck arrived with a bounty of frozen turkeys yesterday at locations like the Helping Hand Mission and the Urban Ministry. Stormy was there helping players Jordan Stahl, Sebastian Aho, and Jordan Martinook. The Canes helped to deliver 1,700 turkey breasts for local families.
And just a little reminder for you, we have more hockey for the holidays on Friday. The Canes will host the Florida Panthers for a Black Friday matinee game. And yes, you can catch all the action on WRAL starting at 3.
The National Dog Show is coming up tomorrow on WRAL. Top dogs from 205 breeds will all be vying for this year's crown. A CLM Terrier named Stash won Best in Show last year. And this year, any dog could have its day.
It's called a dog show, and you got to show, and they've got to have that certain pizzazz and personality that fits their breed and show that to the judge, and they've got to be having a good day.
As long as there are treats, right? Tomorrow, WRAL is your home for a pair of Thanksgiving Day traditions. At 8:30, tune in for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The dog show gets started right after that at noon.
Hey, before we go to break, here's a quick look at your winning lottery numbers, and we're going to get you another check on weather and traffic in just a second. Stay with us.